Forgive us. We know it's been a while, but truthfully, van life hasn't really been quite what we expected. Although now Riley has taken us to some beautiful places and we've camped in spots that some could only have ever have dreamed of, within a matter of days of starting our adventure of living life on the road, we were off to a really rough start.
Well, we're not far from Rebecca's. Alright, here's a bit of context. This is what one tyre currently looks like. And this is what the other looks like. So, yeah.
After a quick repair and some time spent adjusting quietly into our new life, we ventured up the coast to Agnes Water and the town of 1770 for some much needed downtime. That's where we found this gem of a camp spot. A camp listed for 2, the listing said, but we quickly discovered that we had not 1, but 6 other campers on our site. The locals, our new set of furry friends.
Oh my god. Surely they don't all do that.
That was nuts. Hey, buddy.
What no one tells you about living life on the road is that the days can feel long, but the weeks can feel really, really short. Well, for Andrew and I, that was the case anyway. We often wondered where the first few weeks of our new life on the road went, as we adjusted into van life and all of its adventures. Like with any new experience, you've got to take the good with the bad, learn to balance all of the realities and lean into the unknown, as we've heard that through the grapevine that this is where the magic happens. I wouldn't say that homesick would be the right word to describe the crazy sense of emotion that we felt in the early weeks of our trip, and at the same time, I'm not quite sure that we'll ever be able to describe that feeling either. In these last few weeks, we've experienced slow and mellow times, but truthfully, we've also had the opposite too. For every sunset we relaxed into, we were also met with a moment where we rushed to pack up, hurried to get clean washing out of the rain, and all sheltered inside. What I can say is that with no fixed address or location to tie you down with van life, home isn't always where you park it, but you realise that home instead is who you park it with. Finding shelter in the perfect place of tranquility and calm, we had some space and time to process the recent chaos. We unpacked the mixed bag of adrenaline, excitement and unrest we had for the unknown path that lay in front of us. Now that us and Riley were truly in good stead for the road ahead, we headed further up the coast to meet some other locals in this new leg of our life. Venturing more and more off the beaten track and without a bar of cell phone service in sight, we wound our way through the forest and ended up at what would be one of our favourite free camps so far. Nothing else seemed to exist for us over these days, where we spent our time eating fresh goodies that we picked up from local roadside stalls and laughing under the palm trees. Taking in our surroundings for as long as our supplies and good weather allowed, we swapped our backdrop for a sweet taste of New Zealand at Lake Proserpine.
So what are we cooking tonight, babe?
We are cooking smash beef tacos, like tortilla things, and then we're going to be doing pulled lamb wrap taco things. So it's kind of whatever's in the fridge in taco format.
Yeah, we don't usually eat like this.
Oh, come off it. We eat great.
Yeah, we do eat great, to be honest. Because you love cooking so much, that's why.
Yeah, but tonight we're just doing 2 meats. You're right, usually we do 1, but, you know, why not?
We're out here spicing it up.
Spicing it up, passing.
What is it? Does it not look nice?
Here I was saying I preferred Woolies to Coles after being a Coles diehard for what, 2 years, and now I feel like I'm eating my words. I'm watering the dry grass.
I was gonna say, what's that move, babe?
I'm a bit apprehensive to do it that way everyone else is doing it.
Tell me why.
Well, it sounds stupid, but I just don't understand for the life of me how meat cooks on the other side. Like it just doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
It's raw meat.
But other people tried it.
Yeah,
And
but
then
other
and
people
then-
also have qualms. It just doesn't feel right. I think it's just been like such a chaotic adjustment doing van life. And although like we've been filming things here and there, we've actually just used this time to settle in and get used to routine and rhythm.
It's been a huge adjustment, I think, for the both of us. We are in a very small space now, as you know. The full tour video's out, so you'll see it in that. We basically started off cruising up the coast from Sydney, headed to a few places like Seal Rocks, Diamond Head I believe it's called, and then we kind of stayed around Noosa for a couple of weeks. Neither of us had really been Noosa before, so soaked up the lifestyle there, and then I actually flew back to Sydney for some work, and then you were doing some solo stuff. I don't know if it's from the travel in New Zealand that we've done, but I feel like we've settled in pretty quickly to just like small box living.
Yeah.
I mean, we've travelled in a Ranger and we just had like a roof tent and a canopy on the back. That's all we had to go off. So I think this is very similar to that. We're just doing it on a longer timeline.
I've also found that working remotely, obviously with my job, I'm still working the same amount of hours. And then I've got to be mindful of travelling and enjoying being present. And
It's been a huge adjustment, I think, for you mostly because you're still doing a 40-hour week. So it's juggling, okay, when do we travel? When do we stay on a location to explore on the weekend? Well, obviously, we know we're doing it a bit slower than most people would, but it's the only way we could do it, otherwise we couldn't afford it. When we first pulled up here, instantly we're like, wow, this feels like New Zealand. I mean, if you've ever travelled around the North Island of New Zealand, there's lakes everywhere. This is very similar to Taupo. We were sat here at sunset and it started raining in the distance, but just like the sunset was insane, and we were just like loving the bird life, and everything here was beautiful. So we've been making the most of just relaxing here.
half of our van life has literally just been rain. So we're hoping that like on the way back down, we can capture all these places and show you guys what we've been up to, because a lot of it's just been sitting in campgrounds in the rain. Well, hello.
Hello.
We have spent a really beautifully unexpected 2 days in Bowen.
Out of all places, no one's really recommended it. We decided to just give it a go, see what Bowen has to offer, and it's such a hidden gem. We love it.
Yeah, we had a great time. Just lay by the beach, stayed at a campground yesterday because it was like pissing down with rain. So
There was a crazy thunderstorm last night. We had a shitload of washing we had to do.
Yeah.
So
van life.
yeah, van life. So we just wanted to get that done. We paid a little bit extra than what we usually would, but it was pretty cheap considering it was an actual campground.
Yeah, so tonight that means we are trying our first ever rest stop. We've never camped in a rest stop before, so we looked into 3 different...
All three. That's all there is in Bowen.
in Bowen, and all 3... Well, actually, no. 2 we can't because the rain was so bad that you can't actually park up. And then the 3rd option we just checked out now, and it's a no from us.
Yeah, it's not it. It's
We're not
right
ready
no.
at all when
it's
it
just
comes
right by
to...
the highway, so it's kind of going to be noisy all kind of night. And
Yeah.
I think it's a super kind of open farmland, so if it's
Which
windy
we
at all,
love,
yeah, we love it,
but-
and that's where we've been staying 99% of the time. But if it's super windy, there is nothing to shelter behind or anything like that.
So we're on our way now to the free camp in Home Hill. We'll show you guys around because we actually got recommended this home camp. We got recommended Home Hill from an older couple that we met at a campground that we were at recently.
Yeah,
We-
they great stories and great recommendations.
Oh my god,
so
we've adopted
they,
them as our grandparents.
Yeah, they rate it, so we're going to give it a go.
Yeah, so we'll take you along and show you if we end up staying there soon.
Yes.
Wish us luck.
Hopefully it goes well.
home hill comfort stop.
So we got that down here.
Oh yeah, so this is the vibe.
Looks comfortable.
Free camp for the night, baby.
Isn't camp beautiful?
And the other side of the road for everyone who's interested. Oh, so that's the rail line.
Yeah, right there. Here or the
This is much nicer this side.
The toilet's down the other side.
That's right, we can walk down. Home sweet home.
A beautiful little free camp we've got.
Yeah.
We're kind of halfway between a couple towns that we've been staying in, so this is kind of like the halfway point. You know, first time doing this in like an actual rest stop.
Yeah, never done a rest stop before, so it's going to be interesting to see how the noise goes. But we have earplugs for this very reason. So yeah, we'll see how long we last.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we wake up in a different location, we know why. So yeah, we'll probably get set up now, set up with camp. Maybe start doing some dinner, do a quick dinner, so not outside. But here's, you know, hoping it all goes well. It's really standard.
We have woken up at Home Hill today, and luckily there was only one train that we heard that came through the night, but we've woken up so hot and sticky, so I think we're just going to try and get out of here pretty soon. Maybe get a few little groceries from the town to support Home Hill, but yeah, it's around 7 o'clock and it is sweltering. We're going to make the most of those hot showers really soon. Pretty noisy around here, but no trains on the tracks. We've got a lineup of caravans, buses, massive trucks, vans, Riley obviously, and now everyone's starting work at the little workshops, so I think Andy and I are in the mindset that we'll get out of here pretty quickly. We don't really want to be too much of a disturbance. And I can tell you that last night, that train was nowhere near as short and subtle.
Idea how good this audio is going to be. However, we're at a waterfall. Oh, my ass is on fire. I'm sweating like crazy. We're at a place called Crystal Creek in Queensland, which is beautiful, full of waterfalls everywhere, which we're kind of where we're spending the day, and it is stunning. We can't believe how nice it is here. Whoa! Holy shit, there's a crazy gecko that just started eating flies around me. So that's kind of where Max and I are at the moment. There's lots of little flies around, and I don't know exactly what they're called. However, they bite you, and it's not the most enjoyable thing. But you're going to see now where we are, and it is beautiful. And considering it's must be about 36 degrees here. Super humid. I mean, it's tropical North Queensland. It's very muggy, very humid. So we're basically just going to cool off here for a few hours and just make the most of this fresh water. There's no crocs, and we just feel fresh after because the natural shower. So you probably see a bit of what we're getting up to. G'day, mate.
As we're waiting for that. Whoa.
Hey, buddy.
I don't know about you, but long drives with a broken aircon and temps in the high 30s isn't for the faint-hearted. As we wound through the trees to get to our hidden campsite within the rainforest, we didn't realise that we were engaging in a rookie error. Although desperately wanting to stay here for longer than just one night, at the time we promised ourselves that on our way back down from the Cassowary Coast, we'd make the stop to stay here again, returning to the special spot in just a few months' time. What we didn't know is in fact this would be one of our final relaxed nights during our time in Far North Queensland, and we wouldn't have time to stay here again. But more on that tale later. Stopping last night at a lookout point up to the Walleman Falls camping ground, and it was the most picturesque spot we could find. It literally just came out of nowhere and we saw it, and we ended up spending a little bit of time there just chilling and looking at the scenery, which was unreal. And then we drove through the trees. It felt a lot like when you drive through Milford Sound and you just go through the trees, but this was different because it was tropical. And you could see the signs on the side of the road that had like cassowary pictures on it, and it was like cassowaries all about. And we've never seen cassowaries before, so that was pretty scary. But we didn't see any, so maybe today, who knows. We pulled up at camp and there were bugs everywhere. One thing we've learned about Australia is march flies are a bitch. They will bite you at any chance they get.
They seriously do, eh?
Yeah, we were covered in march flies. And then, yeah, we chilled at camp, had an early dinner. We cooked pizza in a fry pan, which is always an experience. And Andrew got his foot covered in leeches, which was actually really scary.
It's a first for me.
Yeah, so we picked those off. I was kind of panicked because I'd never seen leeches in action before, so not ideal. But you know, beautiful day today. We've got a coffee in hand, beautiful waterfalls. I'm leaving the camera on in case I see a cassowary or something of the sort. He's in the road! Move, mate! Oh my god, they're so scary.
G'day.
They're so scary! We are on the Cassowary Coast looking for cassowaries.
Found no cassowaries. None in existence.
We have been cruising along the Cassowary Coast looking for cassowaries. No cassowaries have been found as of yet.
There's about 100 signs everywhere for them.
So we're hoping we see one soon.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, driving through the forest. Oh, gear change. Oh yeah, oh. A beautiful mix of things that we don't have back home in New Zealand: marine stingers and crocodiles. Two things I will never get used to being in the water. The fact that we can't swim because there's crocodiles is just still madness to me. And we only actually found out about the Irriganji, I think that's how you say it, please don't come for me, the other day, and how dangerous they really are. We were like, oh, surely it's not that bad. But, oh, thank you.
It's a bit better.
We were like, surely it's actually not that bad. But then we were talking to one of the tour guides at Great Barrier Reef, and he said
People literally go to hospital because of these 1 centimetre stingers, so we're not going to take the risk. We have just stopped off at the famous Babinda Bakery. We got there just in time. It closes very, very soon. So as true Kiwis, it is basically our birthright to love eating pies. So we were stoked to see that they had a good selection left.
I'm frothing a pie.
Frothing a pie. So we're going to pull up to Josephine Falls now. We just wanted to get to the bakery before it closed and then have some lunch and go for a swim. So we'll take you along with us and you can see what that looks like. But yes, we are very excited to get into the food. Thoughts on the pie?
Like you said before, it feels like you're basically having a roast or something inside a pie. So I'll probably give it a 4.5 out of 5.
I thought you were going to say 4.5 out of 10. I was like, that is low.
That is extremely low.
And then we've got the, oh my god, so blurry. The chocky slice that I've demoed already, and a chocky muffin.
If you're passing through, would highly recommend, especially if you're a Kiwi, because we're all passionate about pies.
It's at this point on our journey where Andy and I found refuge. In local swimming holes we could dodge croc and stinger infested water, but also cool off and have a fresh and much welcome natural shower. It's the little things in life, I guess.
Stunning. The water's a bit colder than what,
God.
Than what it was like at the previous falls, which is that little creek. But it is beautiful here. We love it.
Oh my god, it's been a chaotic night / day.
It's been a chaotic last week, to be honest.
We've landed in Noosa,
We're in this beautiful camp.
which we love.
Massive lake behind us. We're basically in Cairns. And we were up there until about 5 days ago. Category 2 cyclone, which could potentially be a Category 3, which I think it hits, we're filming this is tonight. But luckily we actually managed to escape, which is quite nice.
It's been a bit of a exhausting couple of days, just driving long nights to get here from Cairns. But we're just really grateful that we got out of it on time. We did have an unwanted friend though, so last night...
We did have an unwanted visitor.
Yeah, last night we got out to fill up our water bottles, brush our teeth, the usual. And as we stood out to stand on the tow bar...
There's like the little step that as you basically get out of the truck, you hop on the step and then you jump down.
There was...
a friendly little creature.
Brown snake, just literally crawling. So get out, and then Andrew's like, oh my god, it's a snake. I'm like, whatever, you're so full of me. Because I've actually had a really bad phobia of snakes for the longest time that we've been in Australia.
Since the day we landed in Australia.
Yeah, and like as soon as we touched down, I was like, we're in the land of the snake. Anyway, went and got a photo taken at Australia Zoo holding a snake a couple of weeks ago to try and get over my phobia. Was bawling my eyes out literally the whole time.
We'll have to like put a little clip up here or something.
Yeah,
where you can see
I was sobbing holding the snake, but I was like, I have to conquer my fear because the reality is they're in the bush.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you know? Step out and there was a brown snake on where you stand to get out the car. So I feel like our lucky stars were just aligning so that the timing was. Are you looking for it now?
I was going to say, well, once it went into basically the back of the truck through the chassis, we've lost it,
gone.
And we don't know where it is.
It could still be under there.
It could still be in there. It may have come off. We actually have no idea. So we are still being a little cautious. Because
sitting on the ground right next to where it could be is
yes,
how cautious we're being. But like it's a brown snake, so it could be like tree brown snake or just like a normal brown. But I don't know. I don't want to take the risk. So yeah, it was very eventful. But yeah, we've just been pretty tired, like battling driving, long hours.
I think that with how humid it is in Queensland at the moment, especially when you go further north, we've been struggling, especially while we've been driving with no aircon.
Yeah.
So the last few days we've just been kind of like unwinding, relaxing. You know, we haven't really been picking up the camera much lately, so
No.
we're actually trying to like, you know, get back into our rhythm now, and yeah, you'll see what we get up to over the next few weeks, I think. What is it? Oh, in a week from now, we're heading over to Morden Island.
Oh, can't wait.
With some other friends of ours who also have a Defender, so that'll be fun. We've got about 5 days there.
Yeah.
So who knows what kind of mischief we'll get up to, and
Lots.
how many problems happen with the trucks, and
Don't
if we get
jinx
stuck, and
Yeah,
I
please
know.
don't jinx
I
it.
know, let's touch wood. I'm off to Sydney for some work, flying back a couple of days later, and then that's when we're straight off to Morden. So we're basically just taking the next few days to relax. But we've got some exciting things coming up.
Yeah, so we just thought we'd check in and let you know that we are still alive and kicking, even though we've had snake problems, car problems, obviously dodged the cyclone.
When
And on that note,
yeah, tell me what you're making.
so tonight we're keeping it super easy. Good old steak wraps. I felt a bit bad having steak wraps for the last couple of days because we've been staying at farm stays surrounded by cows and bulls. So haven't had steak in a while, so excited to have that tonight. Nothing too crazy, just super basic. Sometimes when you live on the road, you just can't be bothered. Which is me tonight, so that's what I'm making, babe. I was actually having a chat to my nail lady today about the type of meals that you make when you do van life. My nail lady, I went there once because this girl doesn't get her nails done often on the road, and we were basically just talking about like the types of food I make. She was like, don't you make just the most basic stuff ever, like 2-minute noodles or like packet pasta or whatever? And I said to her, no, basically there's so much you can do when you're cooking on the road. It's just about knowing how to make things nice and adding a lot of TLC, and usually they're pretty good when you do those things. But tonight we are cooking with a bit of a view. We are parked up in Noosa, away from all the noise, but still in like beautiful scenery. Obviously got a lovely little lake dam behind us. Yeah, just enjoying the vibes before it gets dark. We have this rule in our house, and it's we don't like to cook after it gets dark. We always want to do all our cooking before it gets dark because it is the worst thing in the world when you have to do dishes outside in the dark with this mosquitoes everywhere. And considering our little snake incident last night, I want to avoid that as much as we can. So cooking nice and early tonight. I hope you're hungry.
I'm very hungry. I can't wait.